and record, and then I'm admitting, so go live and start greeting in Mtambuzi.
Okay.
Greetings. Good morning, peace and blessing, family.
Good morning. Good morning. Peace and blessings.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In Mtambuzi, any special instructions for the community as they come in?
Oh, yes. Okay, good morning, everyone. So today we will be doing a little bit of movement. So, you know, I know you guys might be in a comfortable, as long as you're getting comfortable clothes, you should be good. Something that you can move around in, maybe get in a space that you feel comfortable in. Loose fitted pants will be ideal, and a loose shirt. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So yeah, for those of you who are coming in, we will be doing movement. So please, if you will be participating in the movement, put on some loose fitting pants, a loose shirt. So you can do some movement. Make sure you have a little bit of space. You don't need too much space, but a little bit of space to be good. Hey, Mom. All right.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, hey, son. I'm sorry. I thought I was not muted.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So for those of you who are coming in, put on some comfortable clothes because we're going to be moving around. Comfortable clothes.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more back thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up, all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na, 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, girl, just you and me. Wake up, all the doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer and who catch all the hair. But they don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we could do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds. Surely things will work out. They do it every time. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, just you and me. Yeah. Change it, yeah, just you and me. Change it, yeah, change it. Can't do it alone, do it alone. Need some help, y'all. Can't do it alone, can't do it alone. Yeah. Wake up, everybody. Wake up, everybody. Need a little help, y'all. Yes, we need a little help. Say it, boy. Need some help, y'all. Change the world, what it used to be. Do it alone, do it alone. Need some help, yeah. Need some help, yeah. Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, come on, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then there's this side. What you have to say. Everybody, no more sleeping in bed, no more about to thinking, time for thinking ahead. Come on now. Wake up, everybody. I'm talking about don't push up, stop pushing that don't push. Don't use up, stop using the don't. Wake up. Yeah. Well, wonder what you tell me now. Wonder what you tell me now. False fire, false preaching, yeah. False teaching, yeah. Wake up, y'all. Come on. You preachers. Stop preaching what you teach. Teach the truth. Wake up, preachers. Politicians. Well, stop lying. Stop lying. Wake up, yeah. Wake up, yeah. Wake up, yeah. Wake up, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It don't matter. Yeah, yeah. What race, creed, or color. Everybody, we need each other. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking. Time for thinking ahead. Wake up, all the teachers. Start teaching new way. They're the ones that suffer each and every day. Teach the children, teach the baby, teach the babies, teach the children, teach the babies, teach the children, teach the babies. They're the one who's coming out. And the world, and the world.
Mtambuzi, we can't hear you. Just unmute yourself. There you go.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. Na roda da capoeira, grande pequeno sou eu, camarada. E capoeira, e capoeira, camarada. E gota do mundo, e gota do mundo, camarada. E que mundo meu, e camarada. E África. Hey, welcome everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Pretty good. Okay. So the piece that I just played is from an instrument called the beating bowl. And to start off, my name is Mtambuzi, and I will be teaching Kapoeira today with different. Oh, I see somebody getting ready over there. Okay, Musa, who speak? I see you getting ready. But yeah, we'll be doing Capoeira. We'll be doing a little bit of Qigong. And Capoeira is a martial art that comes out of West Africa. It's a movement system that comes out of West Africa, and it was moved to Brazil by the slave trade. So when it came to Brazil, it was turned into a more combative art because the slaves used it as a way to fight against the slave masters to become free. And some people say that because their feet were shackled, they were able to get comfortable on their hands, right? So that's why in Capoeira involves a lot of hand movement, a lot of handstands, a lot of flips, cartwheels. But don't let that make you feel discouraged, because everybody could do Capoeira, right? It's a very simple art and it has many different levels. So again, my name is Mtambuzi. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I want to say thank you to Wake Up Everybody for having me on their platform. It's great to see you guys. Oh yes, and also I want you guys to be aware that this is an exercise system. This is a movement system. So if you experience any discomfort, for those of you who will be doing the movement, don't push it too far. There'll be something. I'll be showing something for everybody to do, right? It'll be a little bit something for everybody. Can everybody hear me? Pretty good? Okay.
Mtambuzi,
Yes.
For whatever reason, the device that you have, when you shift your positioning, the sound goes low or high. So just project no matter what, even though you think you might be loud, just project, because your mic on your device may just be sensitive to location.
Okay, understood. Okay, so I'm gonna start off the first portion of this class with a little bit of energy cultivation, right? So before we do anything, it's good to make sure that you feel well, that the energy and the chakra and the chi that's moving through your body is flowing. You feel, the energy is flowing. It's always a good thing, as well as stretching. So this exercise is called Qigong, Ra Qigong to be exact. And I'm just gonna be doing a small part of Qigong, right? So let me see if I have anything else in my notes. Yes. Okay, so all in all, I want us to have fun. This is a fun move. This is a fun day, all right? We'll be doing capoeira. Capoeira is fun. We'll be doing some Qigong. That's fun as well, all right? So let's get started. I want everybody up in your spot. Make sure you have on, you have on some good, comfortable clothes. Make sure you have enough space. And we're just gonna loosen up a little bit, right? So the first move in Qigong, or one of the most important moves in Qigong, is a move called Wu Ji. Wu Ji, right? So it's when my legs are shoulder length apart, or maybe a little bit wider than shoulder length. My knees are slightly bent, very slightly bent, and my arms are open. So this position allows the energy to flow throughout the body, the entire body, right? So when we open our arms and our knees are bent, the energy does not get stagnated as opposed to standing like this, right? So let's start in Wu Ji position, knees slightly bent, back straight. I'm just gonna hold this position for a little while, right? Maybe like 30 seconds. You can close your eyes if you want to. And let's breathe together, right? So let's, on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3, breathe in. Slowly breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And for any reason, if anybody has any knee issues, you can stand straight up too. It's okay. If you have any knee issues, you can stand straight up. The process will still work, right? So again, breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And out. Okay. Now we're gonna do something called shaking, Qigong shaking, right? So from this same Wu Ji position, I'm just gonna bounce up and down, right? I'm just gonna bounce up and down. Our toes and the ball of our feet stays on the ground. Our heels come up, right? Knees stay bent, arms stay open, right? So let's just bounce a little bit, bounce, bounce. And you wanna bounce rigorously, right? We're not jumping, but we're bouncing rigorously so that our chakra points can open up. So we're bouncing, good. Up and down, up and down. And this is a great exercise for the morning. If you're just waking up and you do this for about 5 to 10 minutes every morning, you actually feel the energy, surging through your body. So let's try to feel that energy now, right? So you're gonna bounce. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're smiling. Smiling is good too, right? Good. Bounce, bounce. Try to be loose. A little bit longer. I want to see who actually feels the difference. When we stop, you should feel energy surging through your body, right? So let's just keep bouncing for a little bit longer, up and down. Good, good. Now let's bounce a little bit faster, guys. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Good. And we're only gonna do about 2 minutes of this all together, right? But in actuality, about 5 to 10 minutes is ideal. And stop. Uji position. Arms apart, knees slightly bent. And just feel the energy coursing through your body, right? Just feel the energy. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice. Okay. Now we're going to do something called bringing down heaven. We're going to do this about 10 times, okay? 10 times. So we're going to breathe in, arms up. Breathe in and breathe out, arms down. And your hands are not touching each other, but they're really close to one another, right? Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, arms down. Knees slightly bent, not too much. Nice. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. And breathe out. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Back to Wuji position. Breathing slowly. Even if you're sitting down and watching, I want you guys to practice the breathing. Breathing is so important, right? So try to keep up with us with the breathing. Right? Eyes closed. Your tongue should be on the roof of your mouth, where the top of your teeth meet the roof of your mouth, right? See, your tongue is right here. It's all about energy connection, right? Okay. Now this next move we're gonna do, so we swing side to side. This is one of my favorite movements. This is something I do before I teach any class, before I take any class, all right? I feel like it opens up my spine, my neck. And when I turn, I look directly behind me, right? I'm turning, I'm looking directly behind me so that my spinal cord can get that full turn. Make sure you're smiling too. Smiling always helps. Looking around, swing. And just let your arms hit your sides. Loosen them up. Don't swing too hard, right? You still want to be relaxed. Good. Okay. And everybody, feet together, hands together. Standing straight up. We're just gonna do like a quick, simple stretching routine, right? So standing straight up and bring your arms up. Arms all the way up. Good. And stretch back slowly. Make sure you're breathing, right? We're breathing. Stretch back slowly. Nice. Stretch to the side. Arms go straight together. Nice. Stretch to the other side. Bonito. When I say bonito, that means beautiful in Portuguese, right? So in Capoeira, we usually give praise. When somebody's doing good, we say bonito. Just come down like this. Bring your hands towards your feet. And just let your arms hang, right? If you can touch the floor, please do so. If you can touch your toes, you can do that too. sure you're breathing. And we're gonna put our arms out. Hands together. Come down slowly. And again, don't do anything that does not feel comfortable to your body, right? So there's always an alternative. If you cannot come all the way down, you can just stay in this position, right? If you can only come down a little bit, that's okay. There's always an alternative to the movement. So we come all the way down, our knees are bent, back is straight. Nice. And hands in front, legs apart. Nice. And I'm gonna count to 10 in Swahili. So I'm doing a lot of different cultures today, but I like to count in Swahili, right? Instead of always using Portuguese, because capoeira is mainly spoken in Portuguese, I like to bring it back to its roots, which is Africa, right? So I'm gonna count to 10. Moja, Ndili, Tatu, Ine, Tano, Sita, Saba, Nane, Tisa, Kumi. And we're gonna just sit down, legs forward, stretch forward, back straight, arms up, and stretch forward. Try to touch your toes. Stretch forward, try to touch your toes. If you can't, just reach forward as much as you can. You can grab your ankles, you can grab your calves, right? And Moja, Ndili, Tatu, Ine, Tano, Sita, Saba, Nane, Tisa, Kumi. Nice. I'm gonna bring one leg back. Bring one leg straight back. And this is what it's gonna get. I don't wanna put that it's gonna be difficult. You guys got this. I'm not even gonna say that anymore. We're gonna bring one leg back, and I want you to come back if you can. All right, leg back, bring it back. Nice. Moja, Ndili, Tatu, Ine, Tano, Sita, Saba, Nane, Tisa, Kumi. We're gonna come up slowly. Back is still straight, and we're gonna bring our left leg back now, right? Left leg comes straight back. And we slowly, and if you can't go all the way down, you can hold this position, right? If you can't go all the way down, you can slowly come back. You can come halfway. It's okay, all right? So we come down, and Moja, Ndili, Tatu, Ine, Tano, Sita, Saba, Nane, Tisa, Kumi. Good. Nice. All right, everybody can come back towards the camera now. So before we get into the actual capoeira, I'm gonna give you a brief history on capoeira, all right? So for those of you who came a little bit after, I'm gonna give you a brief history. So capoeira originates from a art called Angolo. And Angolo comes out of the Congo region of Africa, Congo and Angola, right? And Angolo was a martial art that replicated the moves of the zebra. So if you notice, like a horse, the zebra kicks with his hind legs and the way the zebra moves. So in capoeira, we do a lot of handstands, right? There's a lot of things of that nature, right? So during the slave trade, a lot of Africans from that region were brought to Brazil. And in Brazil, capoeira was developed. Actually, the name capoeira came about. And they used this art as a way to defend themselves against the slave masters. Now, when slavery was over, the police mainly the police were told that if any Black person or any person that comes from Africa was caught doing any type of martial art or any way to defend themselves, they could either be killed or they would be thrown in jail. So why capoeira was so convenient is because it's a ritual, is a form of ritual combat. So when you look at it right away, you're not going to necessarily think that it's capoeira, right? Sorry, I'm sweating over here. Yeah, when you look at it right away, you're not going to necessarily think that is a form of martial art. It looks kind of like a dance. You don't know. It's like this could be a fight. This could be a dance, right? So a lot of the enslaved Africans use that as a way to disguise themselves, but they were actually training for combat, right? So there were cities that were created called quilombos, and quilombo is like where the slaves will break free and they will go to the mountains and they will create their own cities. And they defended these quilombos for hundreds of years using capoeira. This is before the cannons were created. This is before a certain type of guns were created. So capoeira was very effective for hundreds of years until the cannon came, and they were able to, unfortunately, take them over, right? So fast forward a few years, slavery was finished, but doing martial arts was still illegal. Fighting in the streets was still illegal, right? So a lot of people who trained capoeira were being thrown in jail every day. They were being treated really bad. A lot of them actually became like hoodlums on the street, or that's how they were perceived, to be hoodlums on the street, because that was the only occupation that they can get, right? They were thieves and robbers. So a lot of them kept getting thrown in jail. And so I think it was 1930, like actually 1940s, where capoeira, where somebody named Mestre Pastinha made capoeira official, right? So he told people to actually start putting on shoes, put on a belt, look presentable, and that way capoeira became more acceptable in the world. So now when you see capoeira, everybody's doing it, is widely accepted in the world. So we're gonna get to some movement. Anybody have any questions before we get to movement? Or should we just start moving?
I have a question. What
Okay.
drew you to this particular form of martial art? Like what attracted you to it?
Oh, that's a good question. So actually, when I was young, I was basically forced to do it because I was a kid, right? But actually, I liked it as a kid. But when I was young, I had to wake up every Sunday morning. My father would drag me into capoeira. I wanted to stay home, I wanted to play video games. But I'm very grateful. By the time I turned 16, so my father and my mother made me do this every day for like 10 years straight. But I loved it. But there was also times I wish I could do other things. My friends were doing it, but they weren't as consistent as I was. So when I turned 16, my teacher moved to Africa. So my father had the bright idea that I teach. And ever since then, it was on, right? I love capoeira. I was able to meet some cool people in Brooklyn who do capoeira. I was like, oh, capoeira is not only just about discipline and respect, because that's how I grew up, and that's good. That's a good thing. But as a teenager, I was like, oh, is there another aspect to capoeira, right? So I saw that there are other aspects. I met some really cool people, and they help further push my interest in doing it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anybody else have questions?
Do you have any questions in the chat for Mtambuzi?
What's the difference between spelling the art with a K or a C? Well, that's a good question. So there are a few people who want to try to bring the art back to its African roots. I don't want to say unfortunately, but the truth is that a large portion of capoeira is being pushed and practiced by people who are not of African origin. And that's not, that's just the way, you know, society works usually with African cultural things. So the K in capoeira represents the Kikongo version of how you spell capoeira, or the Bantu version of spelling capoeira. In Brazil, capoeira is spelled with a C, and I think that's more like a Portuguese. Well, actually, yeah, that's more like a Portuguese swing on it. But when it's spelled with a K, it shows that we want to bring it back to its roots, to the Bantu roots of capoeira. If I explain that right.
And there are no other questions in the chat at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's get started. I'm gonna let you know when to put the music on. For now, let's give a demonstration, right? So everybody can stand up. Make sure you have to go back to your spot. Make sure you have enough space. And the first move in capoeira is called Jinga, right? Everybody say Jinga. You can say it. Your camera could be muted. It's okay, but just say Jinga. And Jinga is basically our knees are bent. We start in this position. It's the ready position. And I step back. And I step forward. Back to ready. Jinga. I step back. One leg back. I step forward. Back. Forward. All right? So this continual motion is called Jinga. And this is the basis behind capoeira. And every martial art has its base. Like, for instance, I think in Taekwondo, they have the horse stance, or that might be karate. I'm sorry if I'm getting that mixed up. But every martial art has its base. In capoeira, our base is Jinga, right? So if we can all try it, stepping forward, back. And my arms are taking turns blocking my face, all right? So when my left leg is back, my left arm is blocking, because that's the vulnerable side, right? And I come back to ready, switch, right leg back, right arm blocking. Up, back, good. Jinga. So we're gonna play some music. And capoeira is, that's another thing. Capoeira is one of the only martial arts that involve dancing. And it's perfect for us, you know, people in African origin, because we love to dance. We love rhythm, right? So when the music comes on, I want you to try to feel the music, right? As we Jinga, I want you to feel the music, right? So we step forward, step back. Step forward, step back. Nice. Bonito, bonito. Nice. So I'm gonna ask the music to start, and we're gonna play a game of follow the leader, right? I'm gonna do a series of movements. It's gonna be based around Jenga. We're gonna play a game of follow the leader, right? So, music, please. Mestre Ananias, quem me deu o meu bem birimbau em minha mão. Pois São Paulo é meu livro, minha vida é minha lição. E o Deus que me ensinou, nunca me cobrou tostão. Camarada, galo cantou, galo cantou, camarada, cocorocô, cocorocô. Nice. Good, good. We're gonna do that one more time. One more time. You guys looking good. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sorry. Internet. But
Yeah, but I loved it in Mtambuzi. We just had the music. We were with the music while you were making your adjustments, so it's all good.
That's good. That's good.
So while you catch your breath, there was a question about men engaging in capoeira. So Bioko, you have that question for him?
Okay. Okay, and the men question.
Or maybe John posted it. Oh, John did. So Sharon Gibbons asked, can adult men learn, and where are classes in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy? This is someone that's in Facebook that asked the question.
I love that question. Absolutely, absolutely. I encourage men to learn. I grew up, when I grew up practicing capoeira, I was part of a Rites of Passage program, and that's why my capoeira is called Capoeira Rites of Passage, where we had like an all-men capoeira session where we were training with one another. It also involved drumming. We also had discussions and talks about what it means to be a man and things of that nature. So I'm gonna post a link somewhere where we can, where I can direct you to where we will be able to do that.
Beautiful. So I'm curious about whether there are special times to do particular movements. Is there a ritual aspect to capoeira? Because over the years, I've participated, I don't know whether this is the right word, but I'm using it, you'll correct me, like circles where it's being done. You utilize the instrument, which I cannot remember the name of right now, but of course you will tell us again.
Yes.
But are there specific ceremonial pieces to capoeira that you engage in that are aligned with rites of passage or aligned with preparing for warfare or other types of ritualized behaviors?
Yes. So that's a good question. Well, first, the instrument is called a beating bow. So everybody say beating bow. And yes, and a beating bow is an instrument that is made up of a special wood. This is a beating bow that I actually got from one of my trips to Brazil. This is made by somebody named Mestre Lua Hafsa, a very famous capoeira master. This is similar to bamboo wood, but it's not as bendy, but it's also very durable, right? So this is called a beating bow, and I use the wire. Well, we use a wire and a gourd brings out the sound, right? And it's hit with it's struck with a stick. Where's the stick at? Which is called a vaqueta. So, in terms of it, there being a ritual aspect, absolutely. And in capoeira, we have a circle. The circle of capoeira is called a roda, and a roda, in generally, people wear all white. The reason I'm wearing all white today is because white is a color, a very spiritual color, is a color of reflection. So usually when you enter into like a ritual space, there's a lot of energies that are being brought up, a lot of spirits. So the white is a form of protection and reflection. You want the good energy, the good spirit to be with you. So that's why in capoeira we wear white. Another reason why we wear white is because the person who comes out with a footprint on their chest, that shows that's the person who who got kicked. That's the person who got dirty. The person who comes out with their butt dirtied up, that's the person who fell on the floor. So we wear white to show that we can come into a battle and still come out clean, come out smooth, right? But back to the ritual aspect of capoeira, yes, definitely. There's music. There's usually three beating bows. There's a drum. Oh, maybe I should have showed a picture. Maybe I'll do that after. But there's beating bows, there's drums, there's singing. Every song that we sing in capoeira has a meaning, right? So there's some songs that talks about the war between Paraguay and Brazil, where the Africans were forced to fight in the war based off of their skills in capoeira and also their skills with being comfortable in the land. And also they were expendable, right? So they would put them on the front lines. So there's like stories about how the struggles they went through during the war. There's stories about candomblé, and candomblé is a spiritual practice that's very similar to Yoruba, very similar to Ifa. Sorry, it's very similar to Ifa, where there are different orishas, and orishas are like different aspects of God. So yeah, there's a lot that I can get into about it, but that's pretty much it.
There was a question about whether the song you were playing had African origins or straight from Brazilian origins.
Yeah, so all of these songs are African origin. They may be in Portuguese, or they may be mixed up, but it's all African origin. So the song I sung was about, it literally translates as God is great, and in this world I'm small. So Maio é Deus, God is great, Maio é Deus. Pequeno sou eu, I am small. Tudo que eu tenho is everything that I have is what God gave me. Tudo que eu tenho foi Deus que me deu. Na roda da capoeira, in the circle of capoeira, I can be big and small. Grande, pequeno sou eu, camarada. So yeah, so the song is an African song sung in Portuguese.
There was a question about the age limit of the Rites of Passage program that you have, and if it was available for teenagers as well.
Definitely, yes. The age, well, when we were doing it, the age started at 7 or 8, around that age, and then it goes all the way until any age. But with the group, so there's 2 different groups. There's a Rites of Passage program that is not active at the moment, but we have plans. We're in talks about making it active again starting this summer. And then there's a group called Akupi do Brooklyn, which is a capoeira group that's open to everyone, and there's no age limit.
Okay.
And
someone else asked if the women or young girls could practice as well.
Sorry, somebody muted me. Yes, definitely. Women and young girls could practice. There are many capoeira, or there's a rise in female capoeira masters and women capoeira masters right now. So yes, women could definitely train. In the Rites of Passage program at the moment is for men, but that's only because we don't have. I would like to have like maybe involve a women teacher. But in the group Akupi is for everybody. Everybody can join.
Okay, wonderful. I invite you to the terminologies that you're using so that people can follow along in the Facebook group. Maybe you can drop some of that information in there so that they can know where to find this information, because in the chat, everyone is saying how amazing it was and how that made them feel, and the energy was great. And, so they're loving it. I woke up. Good. The music woke up the spirit. So yeah, I invite you to share that information in the Facebook group so that people can find it. And someone asked if you can recommend a program in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, there's capoeira in Charlotte. In Charlotte, there's a group called Low Country Capoeira. And I believe they're in North Carolina. They're not in South Carolina. They're in North Carolina. So if you maybe find them on YouTube, Low Country Capoeira, like the Low Country comes from. What is Low Country? I know somebody knows. In Low Country, well, it's called Low Country Capoeira. So if you Facebook it, you will be able to find them. A very good group of people too.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then we have another share from Facebook. They really appreciate, this is from Dex. And
yeah, what's up, cousin?
He really appreciate this training, and it makes sense that so many white people are doing it today because they've historically stolen our practices and tried to separate them from their African revolutionary history. Does Rites of Passage have any upcoming training scheduled?
Yes, so we are, like I said, we're currently in talks with that. Actually, one of my old teachers, one of my original teachers for a long time, Mestre Abel, I'm told that he's back in New York, and we're gonna try to set something up. So I'll keep you posted on the Facebook channel.
Okay, and Miss Sister asked if this beading bow is only used for capoeira, or can it be used in other celebrations?
It could definitely be used in other celebrations. If we actually do research, there's a video on YouTube where there's a woman in Africa who's playing something very similar to this, and it is an old school video, and I'm sure she doesn't even know anything about capoeira. So that just goes to show you that this has been around for ages, like way before Brazil, way before a lot of things like that nature. So yeah, absolutely, I encourage that this instrument be used and be more widespread.
Okay, wonderful. So I would just like to invite anyone into the space, if you have had any training in this at all, if you could unmute yourself. But before we do that, it's 5 minutes to 8. So we just ask if you could just share your contact information with people who have to leave at 8 o'clock. Okay. We can continue, but just so that those people will have your information, and I will drop it in the chat so that they have it as well.
Okay. Okay, so again, my name is Mtambuzi Mlimwengu. That's the name given to me from my mom, who's looking at me right now, and my father. And my email is mtambuzi@gmail.com. You can reach me at mtambuzi@gmail.com, mtambuzi@gmail.com. And my Instagram is mpokezi.mtambuzi. So I know, oh yeah, the chat will be much better because I know like people don't know how to spell all this.
So Mtambuzi, I wanted to ask, because of the state of affairs that we're in, we've been in it, but it's just escalated, and just everybody is spotlighted these days, but just about the protesting, even the dynamics with COVID-19, all roads lead back to racism and oppression. And as a brother, how has capoeira actually helped you to manage emotions that come up as a result of how you get treated. I don't know if you've been exposed to police brutality directly. I'm shocked if you haven't, like, or just harassment. But just I'm curious about how this martial art, this way of life, has impacted how you negotiate space as a Black man.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like I tell the story all the time. Like I feel like if it wasn't for capoeira, who knows what could have happened, right? Like there's definitely been times where I've been targeted by the police and things of that nature. And I think capoeira, and not only capoeira, because I think we need to start thinking about things like as a holistically, right? So capoeira is so important for discipline, for body control, and but I also, that's why I also practice qigong, which is good for energy development and energy. I don't know, I can't think of the word right now, but it's just a good way to balance my energy, helps optimize my thinking, right? So I think it helped me out a lot. It helped me make certain decisions at certain times because that definitely saved my life in certain situations. So capoeira, absolutely. Like I was able to travel so many places due to capoeira. If it wasn't for that, I don't know what I would be trying to do. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. But I'm just based off of my friends, people who I grew up with. I definitely think it had a positive impact on me. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Thank you. Any more questions, family? We have Amal with her hand up.
Yes.
So, mute yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
This was exciting. I have a friend who went to Brazil and stayed, I guess, about 3 months, and she learned capoeira. And then when she came back, she was showing us how to do it because we were in the African dance community.
Yeah.
I called her. She works for the museum. I'm asking her, and I don't know if I can get any help out of Brooklyn, and I'm in Detroit. I was asking her, can we start in the museum a capoeira rites of passage for men? We don't have enough rites of passage for young men and boys.
Yeah.
Here in the city of Detroit that I know of. And I learning the drums and learning African history, et cetera, the things that you mentioned would be ideal, would be just, especially in this environment, because people are becoming more aware. So, I don't know if you are able to assist in any way in that area or not, but I just wanted to throw that out there to the universe that I would love to see something like that happen. Yeah.
I love that. I think that's so important right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't have enough rites of passage for either men or women, like we did when we were in the continent. And more of that is very important. There's not many rituals. And I think that's lost on us. And I'm complete. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm still learning myself, so I appreciate you sharing that. I'm still reading, learning, watching movies, speaking to my elders, and picking up ideas. So I'm not really sure about. I know there's definitely capoeira in Detroit. I don't know anything specifically right now, so I can do some research, and feel free to reach out to me on through email or Facebook or anything.
Let me ask you a quick question on Instagram, because I got a couple messages. I know we checked it and we said that it was a dot. Is it a dot or is it an underscore in between your name?
It's a dot for Instagram.
It is a dot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they're not finding it. So, okay. So
let me double check.
Okay.
Sorry, I might know.
And I know Shawnee has another question for you as well.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Shawnee. I'm so sorry. It's an underscore. That's my apologies.
Got it.
And
a lot to keep up with.
Yeah. I'm not even like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So, one of the things that has been so apparent over these last several weeks is all of the connections between the facilitators. There are these common threads that we've been dealing with. And this week in particular, like yesterday, we negotiated like pain and being broken by trauma and other experiences. And then the day before, John presented on growing up and dealing with the pain of sickle cell anemia and, you know, having issues around hearing impairment and just processing information. And so I'm curious about this piece about pain. And because this is a physical form, you know, people might make up that they can't do certain aspects of it, like this is not for them because of the quick movements and the twists and turns. And then even you said holistically, this is how you approach life, which I love it. I'm curious about how this form can actually inform how you live and how you negotiate space and deal with trauma and wounding. So it's a two-part question, you know, about the physical pain in our bodies and what it can support us with, and then also the emotional, spiritual, and mental pain that we carry.
Wow. All right, we'll try our best to answer. That's a deep question right there. Well, and it's funny because the La Dainha, which is the song that I sung earlier today, kind of speaks to that. Like the circle of capoeira is basically a small version of the circle of life, right? So, what was I gonna say? So I feel like, and also capoeira is not, especially capoeira Angola, we practice capoeira Angola, is like a very small percentage about how fit you are, how physically fit you are, how acrobatic you are, how many backflips you can do. It's more about intellect, right? It's more about strategy. So when you actually see, and unfortunately, it's hard to really show you what capoeira is like when it's just me by myself, but capoeira is actually a conversation between two people, a body conversation. So it's a lot of strategy involved. So the person who's the most acrobatic is not necessarily the person who's going to come out on top in capoeira Angola. Sorry, Shawnee, can you tell me the last part of your question again?
Yeah, I was talking about, I love that you mentioned that it has very little to do with what your physical beingness can do. I mean, it matters, but
yeah,
that, you know, you can still do it and engage.
Mm-hmm.
But the second part was about just like what we negotiate in this, how the space got it created, like just me listening to spirit and just recognizing that there needed to be a holistic approach to negotiating COVID-19 and just the trauma of that. So just thinking about capoeira as a conduit for emotional and spiritual, mental release, to manage trauma and fear and things that we're dealing with that are unfamiliar or very familiar and just getting compounded.
Yeah, capoeira, like I said, capoeira is a ritual combat. So I think anytime that we have positive intentions and we're ritualizing, we're singing, we're in unity, we're together, only, you know, good things to come from that, you know. So I think like inspiration, things of that nature. I'm gonna think more on a better way to answer your question, but thank you for that.
So that's powerful. Ritual is important, you know, to our process. Without it, you know, you're just kind of like a feather in the wind, you know, and just the art of it, it's a gentle, I love that it's a martial art and it'll fool you. You said like people think of it as dance, you know, so you can just like be moving and flowing and you can hurt somebody, you know, but that's not the intention, you know, I know. I also think about Kobla in this space. So Kobla is a guerrilla gardener. He also did a presentation on disaster preparedness. And one of the things that we talked about in the space is if there was an apocalypse and post-apocalypse, who would you be being for the community? And one of the things that we recognize that we would need is folks to protect the community. And you mentioned that earlier. So I would love for you to elaborate on the level of protection. And, you know, what just came to me is not just about like fighting, but it's also, you said, it's about discipline and being able to hold your head. So can you speak more about that?
Yeah. I think it is so, I think it's very important because like you said, it's not, the strategy is involved, but it's also benefits your health. It benefits your physical well-being, you know? So even though you might, like I said, you might not be able to do certain movements, you're only going to get better, you know. And but what determines whether what determines the win is your spirituality, or what determines the win is your willingness to build with other people and stuff like that. So, and that's another great thing about capoeira. You can't do it by yourself. Capoeira is one of the only martial arts that you cannot practice by yourself. It's impossible. You know, you need to have a conversation. You need to build with it. You need a community. You need a holder. A holder is a circle full of people. So yeah, I think that's one way that it will be beneficial, because the only way that it works is when we come together. The only way capoeira works.
Awesome. So Kinyofu had a question.
Yes.
Kinyofu, if you can come off mute.
All right. So I'm excited that you're here sharing this, and it's very enlightening. I know that you have a lot of stories, experiences, and you mentioned travel to Brazil a couple of times, in Tanzania, and sharing that you taught there. So I'm very interested in hearing what your reception was as being an African-American man going to a culture like particularly Brazil, where it's normal for them. What did they think about you? And then in Tanzania, did they know about it? How was it received?
That's a good question. I think when your intentions are good, and when you know that capoeira is African, you're not going to capoeira with the like, oh, this is something that I learned and I'm special in this way. You know, like, this is the reason that we're doing what brings us all together. And this goes for Brazil and Kenya and Tanzania, all the places that I've been, is that we are all, we're all African. So I think me coming with that intention or that idea kind of threw people off in a positive way, because I'm sure they're used to people coming from all over the world and just to take, you know what I'm saying? They're coming to learn capoeira and bring it back to their people and maybe make money off of it, or maybe show it off, in that way. But I think I was instantly received, especially in Brazil. I was instantly received. People was like, oh my God, this guy, he's not in it for the money. He's really very respectful. I went straight to the masters. And I think that's what you do when you are learning about a new culture or something that, that's not 100. It's not something that you are 100% a part of. It's good to show respect. So I think because I came with that energy, I was instantly received. When I went to Kenya, I went to train with the children in the slums, like the real slums in Kenya, and they were like so excited to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was like, and especially, and my name is Swahili too, so they were like, who is this guy? Like, he's bringing capoeira. His name is Mtambuzi. Like, this guy, he's so tall. Like, they couldn't believe it. So it was awesome. I can't wait to go back, actually. But
Awesome.
I have another question, if I can throw that in.
Okay, go ahead.
The language, you speak English, you learned a little Portuguese.
Not a little Portuguese.
If I can remember correctly, you learned a lot there.
All right, thank you. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what you're saying. Oh, yes. I learned a lot. Yeah, exactly. I went to Portugal. I went to Brazil, and I was able to pick up the language. I speak Portuguese. I can have a conversation in Portuguese.
Awesome.
But I learned by being there.
Okay. Okay, quick question from Nikki Morgan. She asked, does the art affect your personal strategy and engage in social relationships?
Yes, definitely. One thing that I learned about capoeira is that you never can really tell. You can never. I learned that ego plays a big role in a lot of things, right? And when I came in capoeira, I wanted to be the best. I thought I was the man, but I kept, when I went to that holder, I kept getting knocked down. I kept getting tripped up. I kept getting kicked out the holder, right? So I think me constantly coming back to capoeira definitely gave me a way to, I mean, it just helped further my social being, right? Being social.
Absolutely. John, if you could ask your question.
Yes, Mtambuzi.
Yes.
First of all, I want to say I love the performance.
Thank you.
The thing I love about it is the range of movement. You know, we spoke a couple days ago, and I mentioned that I've done several different martial arts, mainly karate in my life. And I've always been excited about capoeira because I love the move. I love the dance. I love the sense of just dancing. And I wanted to ask you, have you done any other form of martial arts before?
Yeah, so the Rites of Passage program started with capoeira and grappling. So when I came up, I was doing grappling capoeira, which I think is like perfect because they're both like two opposite sides. Capoeira, you don't touch the person, right? Or you show how close you can come to the person, how much control you can have without touching them. And then grappling was, was all touching. So yeah, I grew up doing grappling and capoeira.
Awesome. My other question is, as far as Qigong, I believe there's several other styles of Qigong, and I've practiced Qigong also, and it's a little bit different than what you do. Would you recommend practicing different styles of Qigong, or did you just suggest staying with this particular one that you practice?
Well, the Qigong that I practice, the reason, and I've been lucky because the Qigong actually came to me, but the reason I practice it is because of its ability to show what, exactly what it's good for, so that I'm not really like the other Qigong practices that I've been introduced to. I feel like they are not as like complete, and that's from my small knowledge that I know about it, right? So maybe the Qigong that you're talking about, but the Qigong that I do is called Ra Qigong, and it has, and I only did like literally like 10% of the full thing, right? Maybe even less than that. So, but I feel like I said, it's like a more holistic way, like it deals with all bodily functions, all the organs and everything like that.
And would you recommend practicing and learning Qigong if you're going to get into capoeira, or is it?
Yeah, I think I do recommend it.
Great, I love it. It looks like a great warm-up companion for what you were doing. So I definitely enjoyed it. And sitting down, I'm sitting down, I wasn't standing up. But, I was feeling the vibe and practicing the move. Is there any benefit in someone who may not be able to stand up as long or do that sitting down?
And I was just going to say, like, I recommend Qigong, even if you do not do capoeira, I recommend Qigong over, because literally Qigong can help you at any time, any age. You know what I'm saying? I think, like I said, if you wake up and you just do the shaking for about 10 minutes, it will optimize a lot of things, your brain functions, your thinking, your breathing, just the way you feel throughout the day. Something as simple as just doing the shaking every morning. So yes, I definitely recommend that people look into Qigong as a way, because I understand that capoeira, everybody might not be able to do, even though majority of people can do capoeira, but everybody might not be able to do it. But Qigong covers all aspects of that. So yeah.
Awesome, great value. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have a hand raised by Louise, and while she's getting ready, someone asked in the chat about, you mentioned grappling. So they want to know if that is similar to wrestling.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when I said grappling, I should have said wrestling too. It's very similar.
Okay, and Louise, if you can unmute yourself.
Hi, good morning, Mtambuzi.
Good morning.
I just want to say first, I'm so proud of you. I've known you since you were a little boy, and oh my goodness, it's just wonderful to be taught by you as a man. So I've always enjoyed watching capoeira, and I remember your dad doing the lessons and stuff in Brooklyn. And I'm just trying to remember, because I never took it. So thank you. Today was the first day I actually practiced the moves and so forth. So I've seen like two people face off against each other. Is there any time where, and I don't remember what it's called, if it the actual movements against. But do you have more than 2 people at a time facing off, or is it just 2 people?
Traditionally, no. Traditionally, there's just 2 people, but everybody is contributing to the circle by singing, by playing instruments, by you know, engaging just energetically. But traditionally, there's just 2 people in a circle battling against one another. Now, in practice, I've seen practices, and I also done practices where there's more than 2 people, or maybe even like, you know, everybody is just moving around in a space and trying to maneuver your space, and while being aware, you know, kicks flying and all that kind of stuff. So I think in training, you have to be very careful with that. But in training, I've seen it. But in the actual hold of capoeira, traditionally, no, only 2 people.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, good to see you.
You too.
Okay, great. We have another question. D DeFore, if you're able to come off of mute and ask your question. And if you need
what are differences between Brazilian and Angolan forms of capoeira? I trained just a little bit, a few classes with Edna Lima way back in the day when I was much younger.
Yes. Oh yeah, she's a grand mestre capoeira, Edna Lima. She's been doing it for a long time. There are no differences really. There are different forms of capoeira in general, right? So there's something called capoeira regional, which literally means capoeira regional, which is the capoeira that was created so that it will be more widely accepted for the world. There's capoeira that a lot of Europeans, and not even Europeans, but just foreigners in general got involved. It turned into like a sport. So that's capoeira regional. The capoeira I practice called capoeira Angola, which is a traditional form of capoeira, which was also developed in Brazil. So all of these current forms of capoeira were developed in Brazil. And the 3 different types of capoeira is called capoeira regional, capoeira Angola, and capoeira contemporânea. And they practice all forms everywhere. So it's not like this is what it looks like in Brazil, or this is what it looks like in Angola. They practice all 3 of those forms everywhere.
Thanks.
Okay, great. And Teresa, if you could unmute yourself.
Hi, I just wanted to say that some of the moves is very similar to the hip hop moves that people be doing, and some of the other stuff is like some of the dances that we've been doing, and it's just amazing to see how much, you know, like this culture is where probably where these moves and stuff originated from, and it's just amazing, you know, to see the spiritual connection, because I used to see people like that, and I didn't really, you know, it's like when you grow up in a real religious culture, they would tell you things are negative, you know. But so joining this Wake Up series, I'm just being exposed to so much beautiful teaching and stuff that is just so profound to see so much culture that, you know, that we are part of. And, you know, I've missed it out because of, you know, misinformation and just being afraid to dive. But, you know, I'm diving in now. So I'm just enjoying what you're giving. Thank you and blessings. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I love how you said it's all correlated. Like even in hip hop, the freestyling, the intentional speech, like that's the same thing in capoeira. Like there's so many music and they're like, and what they say has a message, and it also, and sometimes they freestyle with it. Even with like break dancing, capoeira and break dancing has a lot of similarities. Literally comes from the same place. So.
So this has been so beautiful in Mtambuzi. I'm so happy that you elected to join us in this space and to share your body of knowledge and your ancestral flow, the spirits, like all of that. Like you come with so many, even though you're packaged in this one body. And so I want to ask, and you can say no, if you can, wrap up the session with a song or with something that is commonly said as you engage in the ritual and the form, but just something to seal this sacred space in a really powerful way. And if that's not appropriate for the art, for the form, then I do get that. I'm just making a request, but I know I can be checked. So, just wanting to see what's possible for us to close out this space in a way that will allow us to move through our day in a really powerful way.
Yes, no, I would love to sing a song. Thank you. I was thinking about that. Okay, I'll close off with a special ladainha that I learned in Brazil. A friend of mine taught me.
Awesome.
And a ladainha basically means like a libation. So in Capoeira, we always start off with a specific song called ladainha. And ladainha is like an opening of the way, right? A fila da cobremosa, a fila da cobremosa, a conta dela é malvado, a fila não tem veneno, a conta dele é venenado. Quando ela tá dormindo, colega dela tá com bajama. A batidela é ligeira e a quicada pra matar. A batidela é ligeira e a quicada pra matar. E maior é Deus, e maior é Deus, camarada. E pequeno sou eu, e pequeno sou eu, camarada. E joga pra ali, e joga pra ali, camarada. E joga pra lá, e joga pra lá, camarada. Mas hoje tem amanhã, olha, mas hoje tem amanhã. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. All right, family. So as we prepare to close out, we just want Mtambuzi to share his special offer. So if you could share what this is, brother, be great so that the community can know what options they have to keep inside of this energy or to maintain or sustain or to expand.
Okay. All right. So for those of you, well, because of the COVID, we might be doing another online class, but we also might be starting up personal classes again. So what I would recommend is that everybody follow this group on Facebook, Akupi do Brooklyn. And if you send a message to Akupi do Brooklyn, the first class will be free. This is a good time for that because I know a lot of you are from, we're from all over the place. So we can all participate in this class if we do another online class. But for those of you who are in Brooklyn, you want to do a personal class, you can just follow us on Instagram and send us a message saying that you were sent by Mtambuzi.
Or you can just share I know it's here, but just sometimes people just the extra information,
yeah.
like verbally stated.
Okay, yeah. So My personal Instagram. So this is actually a typo and that's my fault. But my Instagram is @Mpokezi, MPOKEZI _Mtambuzi, MTAMBUZI. And my group's Instagram is called Akupe Brooklyn. So if you just type in ACUPEBROOKLYN and feel free to contact me on email as well if you don't have Instagram, which is Mtambuzi, my first name, @gmail.com.
And this is the love offering. So if you want to just share this screen, or Shawnee can do the honors, it's your choice.
Yeah, Shawnee, you can do
it. I'm going to ask everybody, stop being money lazy. Stop being money lazy. So this is absolutely an honor to speak regarding this experience of you and you just teaching us, carrying culture in such a powerful way, speaking the languages of our people, you know, because we're so multifaceted that we can rock out in any language, and also just the language of the body. You know, I invite those who are in this space, who have been witnesses and participants, who've learned something new today, to share that energy back in the form of money, which we declare is my own natural energy yield, your own natural energy yield, our own natural energy yield, and to pour into this brother who just shared with us, like, classes have not taken place because of the quarantine, and just opening up space again. It's a process, and wanting to do more stuff online. So let's pour into plant seeds, support his reactivation of his business. This is important for our young people to know. This is important for all the generations to know and experience. So we ask that we plant seeds in the form of money to support him. And I acknowledge those who have already given. Like some folks at the start, they're like, I already know that this is going to be of value. He doesn't even have to say a word. It's wake up. So we know it's going to be great. So I honor and salute those who were giving even before the session fully started, just for being dope and great and trusting this process. Because here we are, day 93. We've already proven that the information is valuable, so we can give back. And if you have not given in this space before, for whatever reason, I ask that you take the leap, that you activate the spirit of giving. Whatever the amount is acceptable, because all of it is $1 more, $5 more, $10 more than what was present in the space before you gave. And so we thank you for the intention, because it's about the intentionality and the commitment to making sure that the energy of money and abundance continues to flow in this Wake Up community and beyond. So Zelle, QuickPay, PayPal, Soul Leadership Development @gmail.com, Cash App, $Spirit of a Woman, Venmo @Shawnee Gibson, and code for Mtambuzi is #93MM, #93MM. And if you're here for the first time because our brother came on and you're like, oh, I want to check this out, I want to participate, this is my cousin, this is somebody I do healing work with, this is someone that I know from the community. If you've never been in a wake up session, the reason why it's set up this way is so that this community who co-creates these sessions daily can be blessed. So we have an admin team. Today it's myself, Yoka, John, and then Inez. Teamer, we thank you for joining us as a shadow person so that you can learn how to be a part of the admin team. We're welcoming in members of the community so that they can contribute in this way. And then also Mtambuzi will get 70% of the proceeds that come through the love offering. So we cover community. This is the African way. And so I'm grateful ahead of time for the giving. And I encourage any of Mtambuzi's guests to continue to come back. One of the things that I always tell folks, maybe not as much in this space, but one-offs don't support anything but us being in the moment, right? So what we want is continuous flow and continuous growth and expansion. So keep coming back and keep inviting people. And I've not done this before, but I'm gonna ask as we move to the next slide for people to share where you hail from. People to share where you hail from. If you're calling in from Chicago, if you're calling from New Orleans, if you're calling from California, dialing in from that on Facebook, wherever you hail from. Place that in the chat and place that in the post. Thank you, Zakia. New York, please. Florida, yes, yes, yes. Harlem, New York, yes. Far Rockaway. I know there are people from other towns in this space. Brooklyn, Charlotte, yes. Brooklyn, Carolina, Maryland, DC, yay! Dallas, Texas, yes. West Coast 5. Lower East Side, Bed-Stuy, Manhattan, Atlanta, New York, Queens. That's where I am. Baltimore, Massachusetts, Florida in the house again. Michigan, hey, Michigan. Yes, Mount Vernon, New York, Queens, thank you. We have to recognize that we come from all over. And I will declare, not today, but we've had people who have dialed in or been present from India, and then also from the Caribbean. So we are growing. North Carolina in the house, Bronx in the house, the boogie down. Thank you, Kamor. All right, loving it. So tomorrow, because of the popularity of session number 1, which was ghosting, I'm going to be doing part 2 by popular demand, part 2 of the ghosting conversation. Unlearning the habit of disappearing on people, places, and things. Like when we disappear, we miss out on opportunities. And definitely want to make sure that we are operating from a place of being seen, heard, and felt in every space that we're in. And if there's conflict, negotiating that conflict with intentionality and purpose, because we are deserving of the muscle building of addressing conflict. And carefrontation is what I call it. If there's something to carefront, that means you care about the person, you care about the outcome. We're good at confrontation sometimes, but we're not always good at carefrontation. Just teaching you how to undo and engage in ghost busting behavior so that we can stop disappearing on people and mainly disappearing on ourselves. So please join in, set your alarms, be ready, invite people. We want new energy and new voices in the space so that we can keep growing and transforming. London in the house. Yes, London in the house. Jonelle, thank you for being here. I've declared an international impact, and I know every day we're getting closer and closer to expanding that the presence of the community where you are on the globe. Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody. Let's stay in touch, meaning energetically, emotionally, holistically, like Brother said earlier in the process. Register for this week if you haven't done so already. We're in day 2 of week number 14. Amazing. So bit.ly/wake up movement, because this is a movement. Please post on the Facebook page whatever your experience has been. Let's not be lazy in our communication and community building. We need to hear your voices. So Facebook group, Wake Up Everybody virtual series continued. Let's just boldly build community. And Instagram @WakeUpSeries. Contact us. Kobla is our community liaison. So info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. And then once again, if you haven't filled out the survey, we're declaring by tomorrow. I'm declaring tomorrow. Let me switch up. By Wednesday, we'll have an announcement to make about this journey. Survey is bit.ly/WUE, which stands for Wake Up Everybody survey. So please fill it out if you haven't done so already. If you've done so, we already captured it and we have you on our list and we have your commentary, but please do fill out the survey so we can hear your feedback, so that when we move to the next structure for Wake Up, because it's going to shift from the daily structure, you can say, you don't have to say, oh, well, why are they doing it this way? Because you contributed to the conversation in the process. So we thank you for all that you have done to co-create this space. So we are going to do what we customarily do in the Wake Up community, which is to pour love and light into the facilitator for all of the generosity that they have demonstrated by sharing their genius. And so I'm asking everyone to unmute, if you would. And Pamela, we are ready for your chime. So I hope you got them, girl. Loving those chimes. So let's get ready.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, good brother.
Thank you, Mtambuzi.
Mtambuzi, you rocked out today, brother.
Oh, we love you.
And then also you being able to
Community
provide
I've never done
capoeira. I'm gonna get my youngest son into
elevation of
Thank
you, Boozy. Thank you, Kyofu. Thank you,
Thank you
Shawnee.
for opening up again, once again, opening up another aspect of life.
Our child, come back to
Another man presents himself.
doing it.
Mtambuzi.
I get it, bro. Good thanks.
It's wonderful.
Keep on
This
spreading
is
that medicine.
wonderful. What
I want you to be have a blessed day.
Thank you. Love
have
you,
a
love
blessed
you.
day. All right.
Thanks, Shawnee. Thanks,
You have a
Boozy. Thanks,
magical day.
Kyofu.
Everyone.
I'm gonna take
Yo.
this opportunity
Big
to
up to the
salute your
admin
mama
team.
because your
Thank you,
mama
thank you.
really did a
Thank you.
good
All
job
the
with you. So let's
Mom's hooked you up.
her and we
Thank you, everyone who's
hey.
here.
Yes, love is there and we are
Great start to the
grateful.
week. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Have a good day. Have a good day. Thank you, everybody.
Good Mama Bear. Good job, son. Thank you. Thank you for staying committed. And thank you for respecting the culture. And thank you for respecting your parents. And at any point you could have rebelled and said, no. You did what you had to do as a young man. Bringing it back to the community and giving it to you. So we thank you. Big picture to you.
Mtambuzi, thank you very much. You have just inspired me to really get this fire burning up under cultural Capoeira and some of the other art forms in Africa, from Africa. We've got people who are strong cultural community. So we're going to do it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I've already talked to our major drummer this morning.
Your kinship
contact you.
with power,
Anyway, okay,
grace,
you have
and
a great
glory. Forget about those past lives they
thank you.
told you about
Thank
you.
you. Blessing
The negative thoughts seem to
Since you're
creep
like
up in your mind background.
assistant to me, I would say that that's my nephew. All right, I'm claiming him, girl.
And
All right.
away, summon on your godly powers and banish them away. When choices are before you and you don't know which way to go, always choose the highest ground that good feet you shall go. This my beloved brother, I know. Ashe.
Thank you.
Be unto you, blessings be unto you. May you change the world like never before. Yes. May young men and young women and just women, people free. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, family. We are at 23. You know our magic number is 19.
Yes, thank you. I found the class in Arizona.
All right.
Blessings.
Thank you. All right, family. Have a fantastic day.
Have a blessed night. Blessed day.
Good day. Bye, guys. Thank you for coming.
Bye.